The adaptation we've all been waiting for is finally here, One Piece. I have to be honest, I was not expecting anything Netflix gets their hands on that isn't After or The Kissing Booth to have this much attention to detail and perform this well. But I guess I was in for a surprise. From the casting to the production to the story, everything was great, and there are a lot of things I want to talk about in this show and why I think it will break anime adaptations forever. So let's get into it. Now, first off, I want to quickly point out that I haven't watched the anime, not a clue what happened in the manga either, so I very much went into this with a fresh mind. And you know, it's kind of different when you watch an adaptation and you haven't consumed the source material before. Whatever the medium it may be, you get to examine it with a very objective lens. There is no bias whatsoever. I do know a bunch of characters in this show just because of how insanely popular it is, but that's just about it. Briefly, I would like to thank all of you for watching my videos and leaving comments. Arigato. However, over 70% of you guys that watch these videos and enjoy them don't subscribe. So I'm going to give you the chance right now. Grab your pirate hooks and smash that subscribe button. Just be careful not to break your screen. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into why I think One Piece will break adaptations forever. So, One Piece follows the story of a young, spirited pirate who wants to quite simply become king of the pirates. Like, that's it. That's his entire motivation. It's so simple, but it works. He starts on his journey to achieve his dream, and on the way he makes new friends and encounters the wackiest adventures. Now I want to talk about the setting of the story a little bit. If there's one thing as a medium that anime dominates the other mediums in, it's the just surreal, imaginative, and unorthodox settings and plots. Like, they go all out in the wackiness department. Anyway, the setting is in a fantasy world that's made up of seas, a whole lot of seas, way more seas than our green planet, that's for sure, and islands sprinkled around those seas. There are pirates just like in our world, but on a way larger scale, and most of these pirates are on a quest to attain the One Piece, a treasure that apparently contains everything you could ever wish for. If you were a pirate, that is. The world is just so imaginative. From just one season, I already felt the depth and scope of this world. We went through at least 4 or 5 islands, if I'm correct. Orange Town, Syrup Village, the Baratier, Nami's village. It was a lot of locations. The story just kept moving, and the world just kept moving with it. They hinted at a bunch of other locations, obviously to pique anticipation. It worked. I genuinely cannot wait to see how big and grand this world gets. Cause from what I've seen, we're in for a treat, that I promise you. I also love the dynamics between the Marines and pirates. It gave me that feel of the love-hate relationship between drug dealers and the FBI. Interpret that how you will. There's also the typical politics and corruption present in any civilization, what with the Marine execs enlisting kingpin pirates to basically hunt down other pirates in exchange for free reign to do whatever the frack they want, or Marine soldiers collecting bribes to actively aid and abet the very pirates they're meant to be jailing. From what I saw on the show, I think it's safe to say the Marines are just glorified pirates at this point. Okay, that might be an exaggeration, but they are terrible at their jobs. I can guarantee you that if these guys actually did more work, there would be half less pirates on the sea. I loved how this show was wacky and funny and great, while still holding on to a sense of purpose. Nothing just happens for the fun of it, there's always a cause and effect, and this is where I talk about the characters. And boy, is there a lot to say about them. Luffy's crew made this show what it is. Now, as I said earlier, I haven't watched the anime or read the manga, so I don't know how they fundamentally are. However, in line with the themes of the show and just how it feels, they obviously played their roles right. I got the sense that the performances were true to the characters, and I also appreciate the fact that they found a way to strike the balance and not make their acting over the top. Because when adapting something as dramatic as anime, and an anime like One Piece with notoriously over dramatic characters, you're bound to be tempted to take things too far. So I think their acting was really solid. Zoro, Nami, Kobe, and everyone else did a really good job. The standout obviously would have to be Luffy. Anyway, that's enough about the actors, let's talk about the characters now. I have not seen a crew being played so well since La Casa de Papel, probably. As a team, these guys got me rolling, and individually their stories were very compelling. I know I say that a lot in this channel and that language is generally overused, but this time I actually mean it. The producers of the show did the characters a great service by giving room to explore their backstories. Because when you're dealing with a gargantuan anime like One Piece, you're bound to get into the nitty-gritty details of each character, and I love how they didn't detract from that. Now I want to talk about the crew for a bit. Individually, from what I've seen in this show, Luffy is the definition of what a superhero would be, more so even than the average Marvel hero. He is selfless to a T, not afraid to put himself on the line to help out his friends, and he's laser focused on his goals. Like, if that guy wanted to beat Elon Musk to be the world's richest man, he probably could do it. And you know, just watching him just from one season, I could already tell why he's so widely loved. He is a guy that many guys strive to be like. He's flawed though, he definitely doesn't take things seriously enough. But his heart, oh god, his heart is so big. You can fit a whole truck in there. He's a people person and he's not afraid to get into other people's business so long as he somehow manages to help them. Like, if we had more people like that in this world, we wouldn't even need heaven. We've got our own heaven right here. Now, Zoro quickly became one of my faves as well. The guy was giving me John Wick vibes with his Isa persona and his monosyllabic talking patterns. Oh, and let's not forget about those abs. He's a keeper, that one. All that said, what really made me attached with this character was his thirst to achieve his goal and become the greatest swordsman alive. There's only so far that motivation can get you, but when you're willing to literally die to achieve your goal, my guy, nothing is stopping you. Although there wouldn't be any point now that you're dead, now would there? Kobe. You know that character usually in an anime that's sort of a wimp in the start, but is definitely gonna turn out to be overpowered later on? Yeah, Kobe's looking up to be that character. He's a determined young lad who was rescued by Luffy and vowed to stand up for what's right and not allow anyone be oppressed like he was. And he has plans to do that by joining the Marines. He's looking up to be a good soldier and he's definitely going to be a great Marine later on. However, what's interesting is how conflicted he is about the dynamics between the Marines and the pirates. He was oppressed by pirates for a significant portion of his life and vowed to never let that happen again. Hence why he joined the Marines. But now he's part of the Marines and he gets to see that they aren't that different from the pirates after all. Just like the pirates, there are good and bad ones. There are Marines that are self-centered and corrupt, just like there are pirates that are kind and selfless. And this eternal conflict occasionally shows on his face, and it's kind of funny whenever he does that face, like, what the hell is going on here? You did not just do that. You can't do that. I sometimes wonder whether he will go on to later join them or he won't, but we regret not joining them when he had the chance to. I don't know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Now before I get into Nami, let's talk about Usopp. And this is gonna be quite brief just cause there's not much to say about this guy. I'm well aware that we're gonna get more about him as the story progresses, but for now I'm just like, okay, he's cool. He's got a slingshot, that's gotta give him points, right? The Orange Town arc with Kujo and the Black Cats in the show just built on the other characters for me rather than Usopp. And I don't know what it is, but the guy isn't just doing it for me. That said, he is a cool character, but that's just about it. Now, Nami, yay! I've been waiting for this part of the video. Nami in this show was a character with the most moving story for me. It's depressing, but seeing how far she's come just goes to show how strong of a character she is. It's not her badass persona or her theft skills that make her strong, it was her willingness to finally let Luffy and the others in and help her. It takes a lot to acknowledge and allow people to help you, especially if you've been doing it alone for a very long time. One can easily become distrusting and cold, but right from the start, even when she was still working for Along, even after everything had been taken from her, she never let go of her humanity and she still had love in her enough that she genuinely cared about each and every member of her crew while working for Along. If that doesn't scream a boss, I don't know what does. And you know, this just goes to highlight Luffy's undeniably unrivaled skill in choosing the perfect crew. He's a natural born leader through and through, and he just lends himself to it just because of how he's hardwired. He's dogged, he's kind, and as I said, he has probably the biggest heart of any character I've probably ever seen. It's wholesome and refreshing to see. I have to say this was a great watching experience for me. I never got bored, even for a second, just because of how entertaining these characters were. And I genuinely can't wait to see where this world takes us. They're heading off to the Grand Line now, and all I have to say is LFG. I think I might get into the anime now just because of how good the show was. Anyway, I think Netflix has got their hands on some gold mine here, and they are about to break Adaptations forever with this. I mean, if this keeps up, they're probably going to have the biggest anime adaptation of all time. Let me know what you thought about the show in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Watch this video next. Thanks for watching. Jana.